Hello and welcome along to episode 50 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, Ed McIntyre, and joining me as ever is my co-host, Charles Foster. Hello.
Hi mate, you alright?
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You enjoying Love Island?
I don't watch it, mate. every time I think about it, see on my timeline, some of my brain cells disappear, so I can't bear with seeing anything about it.
Yeah, I tried watching it. I tried watching the first episode, and it was just awful. I could not handle watching
TV,
it.
Mate.
Yeah, it's dreadful. It's dreadful. If you watch Love Island, what you doing? What you doing? It's awful, awful television.
I've myself.
But you well? You well?
Yeah, I'm sound, mate. I'm just still got a bit of chesty cough, so I'll try and not cough all over the podcast.
Oh, yeah, please don't. Please don't. I don't think people will be too happy with that. Well, we've got plenty to discuss in this episode. We'll look back on Leeds United's 2-0 loss to Sheffield Wednesday at Elland Road last Saturday. We'll also look to see how the under-23s, under-18s and women's team have done this week, as well as look at some news that's come out of Elland Road, including all of the latest transfer rumours and gossip. And we'll also look ahead to Leeds United's next game. That sees them take on Queen's Park Rangers away at Loftus Road this Saturday. This is the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, let's get straight into last Saturday's game then. Leeds United losing 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday at Elland Road. Now, Marcelo Bielsa made two changes from the side that started in that 1-0 loss at the 1-1 draw at West Brom on New Year's Day. Barry Douglas replaced Alioski at left back while Bamford started up front. But Marcelo Bielsa could not turn his poor form against Gary Monk around, and he's now lost 3 and drawn 1 of the 4 times he's faced Gary Monk. And we got monked, essentially. We got Gary monked on Saturday, really. How are we feeling after Saturday's game?
Annoyed, deeply unsatisfied, worried, numb. That's your 4 words. Fair
enough. It was quite a disappointing and frustrating game, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially it reminded me bits of the way we were playing. Reminded me of last season, and the way that Sheffield Wednesday were playing reminded me of. Do you remember when we played Burton Albion under Gary Monk?
Yes.
And Wood scored in like the 80th minute, and then DeCara won a pen on about the 90th minute, and we won the game 2-0, but we played awfully, and we just defended against Burton Albion for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like a role reversal of that. It felt exactly like that. It felt like they didn't do anything. They soaked up pressure, and then when we kind of ran out of ideas, Bannon just took over in midfield, started running it, and then we just got punished right at the end because we couldn't. I remember because Bamford spurned yet another chance on about 86 minutes, and they just went down the other end and scored immediately.
Yeah.
Long ball, Alioski, poor defensive header. Ben White loses just pass it straight into the middle of midfield, gets intercepted, laid through, and Casilla gets beaten at his near post.
Yeah, we'll go on to the goals in a second, but they're really, really poor goals, and as you say, they do nothing. All you need to do is look at the stats: 2 shots on target and 2 goals. Yeah. Whereas us, probably what feels like 500 million shots on target and no
5,
goals.
I think 14 shots, 5 on target we had.
Yeah, it's awful, and it is quite worrying, to be honest. Now, we weren't great at all in this game, but I'd say that we were the better team in the first half, though. We missed many opportunities. Jack Harrison, I remember, missed a good shot that was saved.
It was like we had a bet on ourselves to lose the game for how many shots we were just putting randomly wide.
I mean, in the first half, we missed many chances. I remember a ball flashed across the face of a goal, and Harrison, all he had to do was just dive forward.
It was off
and it was in.
It was off a Calvin Phillips free kick. He whips it in.
Yeah. Great
ball to the back post. Harrison gets to it first, and on his right foot, weaker foot, and side foots it past the post. It's actually easier to score than it was to miss.
Yeah.
And he put it wide.
Jack Harrison played well, though. Patrick Bamford also missed a few opportunities as well. Midway through the first half, Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net, but Mateusz Klich was ruled offside. Some said that he didn't look offside. Some said that he did look offside. It was a close one, 50-50. Some get given, some don't. What was your take on it?
Well, I mean, you know, at the game, I celebrated the goal because I thought it was legitimate.
Everyone did. Yeah, you did. I didn't.
You didn't because you saw the offside
Well,
flag.
I saw the offside flag.
I didn't see the offside flag, and to me, it looked onside, so I celebrated the goal, and then it was given offside. And having seen after the game the highlights, he was clearly onside.
It looked just onside. It was definitely a close one, but to me, it looked just
Centre-half is playing
onside.
him on.
Yeah, he looked just onside, and if not centre half, for full back on the far side, he looked just on. But you know, some you get given, some you don't, and it's the way the wind blows, really. But it was a good goal, to be fair. Jack Harrison did well to keep the ball in. Nice ball to click, and a nice cross as well to Bamford, and nice header in as well. It was a good goal, and if it counted, probably one of the goals of the season for us.
The thing is, though, with borderline offside decisions, you're supposed to give the benefit of doubt to the attacking team.
Yeah.
In football,
You're supposed
you
to. But CFL officials, mate, we've spoken about them on this podcast a lot.
Also, I think we all slagged off VAR when we were playing Arsenal, but VAR probably gives that goal.
Yeah, probably does. It really does. VFL officials, we've said many times, they are awful, and it's a serious problem that needs to be looked at. But some get given your way, some don't. And yeah, that goal was ruled out 0-0 at half time. And Leeds United were just absolutely shocking in the second half. Awful in the second half, creating nothing really. Bamford, I think he spooned a shot just like way over the bar from not too, from close range. He should have scored that.
Fair, he was getting rugby tackled at the time. I did notice that through the entire game. Every time one of our players had the ball, the Wednesday players didn't attempt to tackle our players. They just grabbed them by the arm. Did you notice that as well? Whenever we were dribbling with the ball, they wouldn't try and tackle. They just grabbed the arm, and the referee never gave any decision, any fouls for that, unless they went in on with the legs, which it did occasionally.
Yeah,
it really annoyed me. But yeah,
Bamford again missing chances.
But he should be putting that away. There was that one where he wins the ball on his right foot in the second half as well, and he
cuts it
runs
onto his left. Yeah, runs to the byline, cuts back onto his left foot because he doesn't have a right foot. He does not have a right foot, does Patrick Bamford.
He tries to lay it into the middle of the goal, into the middle of the 18-yard box.
And the chance is wasted.
And then the Wednesday clear it and it's gone.
Bamford does not have a right foot, and he's so frustrating because he's always, if there's an opportunity for him to shoot on his right foot, he always has to cut back onto his left foot, and it's really frustrating.
He had that one in the first half where he kind of broke through. He was kind of one-on-one, and it looked from where we were stood like he just passed it to the keeper, didn't he? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
In the first half when we were getting really frustrated with him because he had literally had a clear line to goal with nobody anywhere near him.
Yeah. I mean, Bamford, he didn't have a good game, missed many opportunities. What's your take on Bamford? Because for me, he's not good enough. He is not good enough. And for me, I don't think he's a striker. I think he's a number 10. Or if he is going to play up front, I think he needs to play up front with another person next to him. That's just my opinion. But I don't think he's good enough by himself on his own as the number 9 striker.
No, he's very frustrating player. you just see him get into such good situations, good scenarios, and just ruin it.
Yeah.
I mean, the classic Leeds United fashion of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, like we did throughout this entire game, to be fair. But he built up a bit of goodwill with the Leeds fans because he started scoring again, and it seemed like we were okay. And in that West Brom game, when he came on replacing NkGhTg, we all thought we'll look much better with him in the team. But he just misses chance after chance after chance after chance. And we create more chances than anyone in the league. Bamford has the most shots inside the box of any player in the league. That is a stat. How can the player that has the most shots inside the box not even be in the top 5?
Exactly. For me, he's not a striker. He's not clinical enough. And if he is playing as a striker, he needs someone up with him. He just needs help up there. But, I appreciate all that he does. It's clear to see that without him in the team, we don't have that kind of, It's a piece missing from the machine, really.
I think he's got 61 or 62 shots in the league inside the box.
Yeah.
And he scored 10 goals.
It's not good enough.
It's not 1 in 6 conversion rate from inside the box.
It's simply not good enough. If you're wanting to go up, you need a striker who's more clinical than that. Absolutely. I've been supportive of Bamford. Leeds fans are very supportive of him. When he goes through massive goal droughts, he could not score for an entire season, and we'd still, really support him. But I think you need to come to the realisation that he just isn't good enough. He just isn't good enough if you're wanting to go up. You need another striker in there who's clinical, and we'll get on to transfer rumours in a bit. But Bamford, really poor game here, and for me, he's been poor for a number of weeks. I appreciate all that he does in the team, but Bamford will go on a massive goal drought and then score 3 goals in 2 games or 5 goals in 4 games, and they're all tap-ins. And then he'll go on a massive goal drought again. For me, it's not good enough. And yeah, That's just my opinion on it. A lot of people may disagree with me, but a lot of people may agree with me. Who knows? But yeah, for me, Bamford, I don't think he's a striker. He needs help up there. I appreciate all that he does, but he's not a good enough number 9 for me if we're wanting to go up. Because if we go up into the Premier League, he's not good enough for the Premier League. Simple as that.
No, he's not.
Simple as that.
You get players that were scoring 20, 25 goals in the Championship last season that have gone up, like Ollie McBurney, and are scoring like 7 or 8 goals in the Prem. Like Bamford's getting 10 goals in the Championship. He's not scoring in the Prem.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless we get a penalty or something like that.
Yeah, another striker is definitely needed. Back onto the game then. So Sheffield Wednesday, they took the lead late on 87 minutes through Jacob Murphy. Nice through ball, but poor defending and just even worse goalkeeping. As we touched on earlier, Murphy somehow managed to score from a really tight angle, beating goo.gl at his near post. How does this go in? He has no right to score.
I saw an angle from behind the cop and it's appalling. It literally just falls on his ass.
He has no right to score this, does Murphy? No. It's awful goalkeeping.
Bad angle. It's a punt at the near post. They get saved 9 times out of 10 by a competent goalkeeper.
Yeah. How does Casilla not cover his front post? This is near post. Tight angle. There's nowhere else for Jacob Murphy to shoot. If he shoots to the far post, it's going wide. If he shoots at the near post, you cover your near post and you're saving it. But Kiko just falls on his arse and he lets it go in. Awful goalkeeping. Don't know how this goal went in. He had no right to. But he did. And they were 1-0 ahead late on. And fans had already started to leave. And then Elland Road just emptied when the second one went in on the 4th minute of added time. Barry Bannon with a nice through ball to Adam Reach on the left. Luke Ayling caught out of position for me. Luke Ayling's out of position, not watching his man.
Wasn't aware of his man at all.
Yeah, and Adam Reach, first time ball into the box, and Nui scores first time finish into the top left hand corner. Awful defending again. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 shots and 2 goals. Dreadful.
I don't think you can blame Casilla for the second one.
No.
I'd have to blame Luke Ayling for the second one.
No, but...
And someone should have been covering Bannon in midfield as well.
No, but you can blame the goalkeeper for me. And you can blame Ben White as well, because Barry Bannon, nice ball, albeit, to Adam Reach, but the ball's rolling into the box. Adam Reach is miles out on the left and he has to come right in. Ben White's there and he's jogging backwards. He should either sprint to that ball or tell Casilla, you run out to it, like he does 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
But they didn't hear. Everyone fell asleep.
Communication was awful in this game. There was that. I mean, we were saying on the LS11 podcast, that remember that ball that I think Hernandez put it through midfield and Bamford, Click and Helder Costa all dummied it and we lost the ball. How can 3 players dummy the ball? Yeah,
communication was awful. And this second goal that Sheffield Wednesday scored, everyone just stood still, poor defending, and 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Elland Road emptied, and Wednesday held on to win 2-0 and celebrated like they had just won the league. They celebrated like Derby County did last season.
I don't blame them for celebrating the goals because I would have celebrated the goals in a similar fashion.
But it's after the game with their fans. They're doing the chanting and throwing arms about and everything. They celebrated like Derby did last season when they got to playoff final.
Yeah, well, I'll look forward to celebrating when they get relegated.
Yeah,
with their 21-point deduction.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll warm my heart deep inside. Seeing their miserable fans' faces as they realise they've got to spend a year going to Yeovil away, like we did.
Yeah, they've got that 21-point deduction looming over their
Hopefully
heads.
Hopefully they get absolutely smashed by the EFL for that. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant because they celebrated like they'd won the league here. So
that's not
karma.
That's
guys.
not just bitterness. I don't like them in general.
Yeah. Well, after the results of the weekend, after that loss and after Bristol City won in the yearly game, beat QPR 3-1 in the yearly kick-off. Brentford,
Bristol City,
Brentford. Bristol City, they won as well, I think, didn't they? West Brom, they drew to Aldo away at Charlton. Yes.
Forest drew. They scored a 96th minute opening goal and they got cancelled out by a 98th minute equaliser.
Wow.
Forest fans going mental in their comments. It was really funny. It almost cheered me up. Almost.
But after the results at the weekend, Leeds dropped down to second in the Championship table and they sit 1 point behind league leaders West Brom and are now 6 points clear, only 6 points clear of Brentford in first. Nottingham Forest, who are, I think, fifth, they have a game in hand, so they could decrease that gap to 5 points. Are you worried?
Yes, I'm a Leeds United fan. It's my natural state.
Yeah,
we are poor at the moment. The only saving grace is that West Brom are having as poor a run of form as we are.
Yes.
But all it's meaning is the league is going from done to being compressed again, which nobody wants.
Yeah, absolutely nobody wants that. 6 points clear now of third. It is worrying. Let me read a few things out for you. So Leeds So Leeds have won just one of the last 7 games in all competitions, and that was thanks to a 95th minute own goal away at Birmingham.
Including the Arsenal game there,
Yeah, in all competitions. So Leeds have only won one game of the last 7 games in all competitions, and that was thanks to a 95th minute own goal away at Birmingham. Leeds have now conceded from the first shot on target faced in 5 of our last 6 league games, 10 times in total this season. Credit to @LUFC Data on Twitter for that one. 10 goals conceded in our first 21 league games. We had the best defence in Europe at one time, but we've now conceded 13 in our last 6 league games. And on the 10th of December, just over a month ago, 10th of December, we had just won 7 games in a row. We kept 5 clean sheets in that run, and we were 11 points clear of third. And we're now 6 points clear of third. Are Leeds falling apart again?
It feels like last season.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've got strong kind of, I don't know what the word would be, kind of memories of last season is kind of in your head when you think about these kind of things. We're always awful in January. We always are. We were awful under GFH. We were awful under Bates. We're awful under Radrazani. Ownership, obviously, not management. I'm clear there. But no matter who's managing us, who's owning us, we are awful in January.
Yeah. Seems to be no matter what squad we have, we're always awful at the same points.
Even when we've had good teams like under Monk and under Grayson, under Bielsa, we've all been terrible in January.
I mean, we could have Man City's team and they'd still do Leeds things like going 3-0 up and drawing 3-3 and having a part of a form in the new year. Honestly, whatever squad and manager we
awful.
have, the same things happen each season.
We need... If we get a big signing, I think that'll give us the lift.
Yeah.
It'll lift the club, it'll lift the fans, it'll lift the players.
Like Kiko Ksale last season when we brought him in, our form kind of turned around, really.
Yeah, he did a bit, and he made a few good saves, and everyone was kind of bigging him up. And then, obviously, the Derby semi-final happened, but we'll ignore that.
Yep.
But like Daniel James would have been the big lift last season had we got it over the line.
Exactly.
If you've seen the documentary, you've seen him sat in Victor Otto's office with a Leeds shirt in his hands.
And you can see all the Leeds players texting James Mooney, see if he signed yet or not.
Asking what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. We need a big lift here because we're in really poor form right now. That's now 3 draws, 2 losses and just 1 win from the past 6 league games. Just not good enough. Awful form at the moment. I'll ask you, are Leeds falling apart again, do you think?
I'd like to think not. I'd like to think this was our season blip.
You like to think it's just a little blip and we'll pick it up again.
I like to think this is just Leeds doing Leeds things in January. Because
we have a good team.
And that we'll sort it out.
We have a good team with some good players. You just hope that it's a little blip and we'll pick it up again.
With the addition of Forshaw and Shackleton back into midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly next week with us maybe getting an early goal against QPR, that'd be nice. Or if not, just grinding out a 1-0 win. That'll give us the big lift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially given QPR will doubtlessly get their obligatory penalty down in London because every team we play down in London gets a penalty for free off the EFL.
Yeah. But we do, of course, move on to QPR away this Saturday. We'll look ahead to that game later on in the show. But first, let's have a look at how other Leeds United teams have done this week. So the Leeds United first team, they couldn't beat Sheffield Wednesday, but the Leeds United under-18s, they could, as they beat Sheffield Wednesday under-18s 5-4 on penalties in the 4th round of the FA Youth Cup last Thursday night. Jack Jenkins headed home on 67 minutes to make the score 1-1 and take the game to a penalty shootout, which Mark Jackson's side ended up winning to go through to the next round. Fantastic achievement is this.
Yeah. I mean, we've I think the last time we won the Youth FA Cup was in '93. So
FA Youth Cup.
That's what I mean. I just said that.
You said Youth FA Cup.
Oh, it's the same thing, mate. FA Youth Cup, then. I do apologise for getting the words the wrong way around. Yeah, but '93 was when we beat Manchester United at the final. So
yes.
It'd be nice to knock them out next round. Should they beat Norwich City? Which they may not. But
yes, so the under-18s, they will play either Norwich City or Manchester United under-18s away in the 5th round. So it could be a very, very tasty game in the next round.
Well, no, that game will be the 4th round, won't it? Because they've not played yet. Well, we might put.
That's in the 4th round.
Say we'll play them whoever wins that in the 5th round.
So it could be a very tasty game.
It's away as well, so it'll be. Whether or not we'll play at their training ground or we'll play at Old Trafford, that'll be good for
I don't think it'll be at Old Trafford. It'll be at some, gym complex or whatever.
What their training pitch is called. I don't particularly care, but yeah, we'll play them over there. Or Norwich will have to be a long trip for the players.
Yeah, that'll be a long trip, Norwich City. So hopefully we get Manchester United. That'll be a very good and exciting and tasty game for the under 18 Juice. Yeah,
just knock them out.
Yeah, knock them out. That'll be great. That'll be fantastic.
Might even make national news.
But yes, fantastic stuff from the Leeds United under 18s and Mark Jackson's side. Big shout out to them and big congratulations to them for winning in the fourth round of the FA Youth Cup. The Leeds United under 23s, they were in action on Monday in the PDL North, and they beat Crewe Alexandra under 23s 2-1 away from home, with goals from Jamie Shackleton and Pascal Stewart giving Carlos Corberan's side the win. The weather conditions, they were very difficult to play in. I don't know if you saw the live stream.
Windy,
yeah, and the cameraman had to keep on clearing the lens every 5 minutes or so. I think the camera blew down at one point as well. So yeah, awful weather conditions there. So a very good victory for them here.
Yeah, I think they got beat by Crewe last season. Crewe have got quite a good youth team. They're quite famous for having a good youth set up down at
I think
Crewe.
They've got Paul Green. Remember Paul Green?
I do remember Paul Green.
They have him in there under 23s. Because I remember watching Leeds versus Crewe at Thorpe Arch, the under 23s game, and Paul Green were there playing, and I was looking at him like, you look so much older compared to everyone else.
But yeah, Crewe have quite a good youth set up there, and they got beat by Crewe beat Leeds last season, so in the under 23s. So this was quite a good win. The Leeds were quite good in the first half, kind of running a bit ragged and kind of mirroring the performance of the first team. Were quite poor in the second half. Crewe probably had the better of Leeds in the second half.
Yeah, and Ryan Emerson came out on social media afterwards and said that he had a poor game, but credit to the goal scorers. And Jamie Shackleton getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, I think
fantastic.
Edmondson did assist Shackleton's goal as well. It was kind of top corner left foot from.
It's more Jamie Shackleton's goal though.
I know,
simple pass from Emerson.
I know, it's a simple pass, but assist is assist, and you'll take it.
Yeah.
But he puts it top corner, and then Stewart kind of scrambled in a corner.
But good to see Jamie Shackleton getting on the score sheet.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's making his way back to the first team soon.
Well, it seems to be fully fit, so you'd expect to see him on the bench, given where he was before he was injured. But
yeah, he was on the bench on the weekend. Didn't manage to come on, of course, but hopefully we'll see him.
Probably could have done with him in midfield.
Yeah, probably. Bring on Jordan Stevens. Weird substitutions against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
But it didn't really affect the game whatsoever. In fact, all the subs went off at 0-0.
Yeah.
I don't think Hernandez or Stevens were at fault for the goals, though.
No. But Jamie Shackleton, hopefully he's back in the first team fold very soon. Now 5 games unbeaten for the Leeds United under-23s. So hopefully they continue that good run of form.
I think it's 8. I think it's 8 unbeaten. I think it's 5 wins.
5 wins in a row, 8 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
Yes. So hopefully they keep up that very good run of form. And the Leeds United women's team, they drew 1-1 away at Liverpool Feds last Sunday. Emily Cassidy scored the team's first goal of 2020 to secure a point for Dan O'Hearn's side. Great stuff there, so well done to all of those teams. Let's have a look at some news then. And Leeds United youth player Noah Kenner has signed his first professional contract with the club. He signed that last Friday, January the 10th, which was his 17th birthday. So many congratulations to him and happy birthday to him as well.
Yeah, he's been scouted by Man City and PSG as known Kenner.
Yeah, so good to tie him down to
I think his birthday may have tied him down by the sound of it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those, if you're still with us when you're 17, I think it's 2-year deal with an option of a 3rd year.
Yeah.
But if he does get poached, we'll get quite a lot of money in the in the tribunal type thing. You know how much we got for Charlie Taylor? Like $6 million off the tribunal. Yeah, not too shabby. But yeah, I think he's one of those players. We're kind of bringing through a lot of players in midfield at the moment, though, aren't we? Because we're bringing through Shackleton, we're bringing through Gortz, we're trying to bring through Kenner. We're not really bringing through any strikers because Edmondson didn't get in a shower at all. And obviously,
Saturday, no striker on the bench.
Yeah, I think it's Charlie Cresswell who's the main kind of centre half. He's in pole position to come through. Richard Cresswell's son, obviously former Leeds player. But yeah, it's lovely to see more midfielders coming through and signing deals and kind of committing to the club. It shows that, because once upon a time players just used to use Leeds as a bit of a springboard, didn't they, as a youth system. They used to come up here and then take off somewhere else. Yeah,
so it's good that we're tying them down, and many congratulations to Noah Ken on his first professional contract, and happy birthday to him as well. Hopefully he had a fantastic day. In other news, now this isn't Leeds United related, but it is Leeds sports related, and the Leeds Rhinos, they played a friendly game on Saturday against the Bradford Bulls at what was a sold-out Headingley Stadium. It was initially a testimonial match for Rhinos legend Jamie Jones Buchanan, but heartbreaking news came out at the end of 2019 regarding Rhinos legend Rob Rob Burrow, who at the age of 37 has been diagnosed with motor neuron disease, which, if you don't know, is what Stephen Hawking suffered with. So thoughts and well wishes go out to him and his family, of course, and friends. But because of this awful news, the match was not only JJB's testimonial, but it was also a fundraiser for Rob Burrow and his family, which is brilliant. And credit to Sky Sports as well, as they broadcasted this friendly match live on TV. It was a fantastic day, and the Leeds Rhinos, they won 34-10. And it was also very emotional as well to see all the legends again and them supporting Rob Burrow. So absolutely fantastic. I just needed to mention this because I'm a big rugby league fan. I know that you're not, but I am. And this was fantastic.
I can have respect for it, and I thought it was it's a beautiful moment of kind of humanity in sport, which you like to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been a lot of fundraising for Rob Burrow. It's a horrible kind of neurological disease he's got, and he's obviously he's a youngish bloke. He's got young kids, so you do feel for him. And it was he really loved it. He came on with about 5 minutes to go. Did it at the end of the game, and had a few minutes on the pitch, which I'm sure he loved. So yeah, it was a really nice thing to see. Even Sky, who we regularly have a bit of a go at, it was free to watch on Sky.
Yeah.
So that was even a nice gesture from Sky.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. So really, really good day. I was there, Henley. Fantastic occasion and very emotional. But yeah, everyone at All Things Leeds do want to wish well wishes to Rob Burrow. Hopefully, he does well. Really horrible news, that one, but fantastic day on Saturday. Now transfer news then. Let's look at the transfer news and rumours, as of course it is the January transfer window, and has been
time of the year.
And there has been a few outgoings at Leeds. So 24-year-old defender Louis Coyle has signed a permanent deal with League One side Fleetwood Town after about 3 loan spells there, making over 100 appearances for them. So this was always going to happen, wasn't it?
I think he's in the top 10 highest appearance makers of all time, and he's
just ridiculous.
Just signed for them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
He's got like 120 appearances, I think, or something like that. Well, over 100 appearances, which is just insane for a lone player. But we've I always liked Louis Coyle. I thought he seems a nice lad. He was a decent defender, but obviously he wants regular game time. He was never going to get that at Leeds, so you just think, fair play to lad. You're 24. Kind of going towards the middle of your career, you want to be playing every game. I can respect that. Yeah. And it appears he's appreciated down there, so fair play to him.
Yeah, it was always going to happen.
Yeah.
It was always going to happen, so good luck to Louis Coyle there, who's now a permanent signing at Fleetwood Town. 26-year-old forward Paul Sabicki, he returned from his loan spell at Dutch side ADO Den Haag, and will now sign a permanent deal with Polish side Pogoń Szczecin. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I was going to say, excellent pronunciation with the Dutch name.
Yeah. I asked our friend Chris how you pronounce it, and he sent me a voice memo, and I tried to replicate it, but I just couldn't.
Our resident Polish expert.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely pronounce some English words, so I can't pronounce any Polish names.
To that. Savicki.
Never going to get in the team.
Was just a bit average, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he was all right in a few appearances, but he was never going to get in the team now.
He was just one of them, that big raft of auto players that never really achieved anything. The Union OK and the Jeroy Grot, the Caleb Ekiaban, the Hadi Sacco. It was just like a kind of raft of players that kind of came in and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And we now need to shift off our books. Lawrence de Bock as well, who we're going to talk about in a minute. He was another one of them that was just awful.
Yeah. So it's good that we're getting all these players off our books. And Paul Sabicki, good luck to him over in Poland. Hopefully he does well there. Paul Sabicki has left Leeds United and gone over to Poland on a permanent deal. Finally, 26-year-old left-back Lawrence de Bock, as we discussed last week, his loan spell with League One side Sunderland ended, and he will now join Dutch side ADO Den Haag on loan with an option to buy. And 23-year-old defender and midfielder Conor Shaughnessy has joined League One side Burton Albion on loan until the end of the season. So all those players, they were never going to get into the Leeds United team, and they never featured much for us really at the time that they did spend at Leeds. So it's good that we're getting rid of these players and getting them off our books.
Yeah, it's just more players. That just reminds me of the Thomas Christensen era at Leeds. All these players just remind me about how was strange starting 11s, like Anita and people like that. Just awful, just bloody awful.
Yeah,
Shaughnessy hasn't really had a look in about 18 months. Christensen liked him, but Bielsa hasn't really seen anything in him. Lawrence de Bock is never going to be in a Leeds side again. Just never.
I mean, 7 games for Leeds, 0 wins.
Awful. The Derby game is still horrendous. I remember watching that. I was in Drydock. We took the lead through the dodgiest Lasogga goal I've ever seen. He just kind of bounced off his chest and rolled in. And then we took the lead again through Alioski, who booted it straight at the keeper, and then it bounced off his head.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then I think it was Palmer, Casey Palmer scored the equaliser for Derby, but the Derby's equaliser on the stroke of half time was just Lawrence de Bock being 20 yards away from his man, trying to hit the ball, and challenge Liam Cooper in the air for a ball because he was just awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not annoyed to see the back of Lawrence de Bock, if I'm being perfectly honest, and I'd love to say good luck to him, but he was awful. So
yeah, good luck to Conor Shaughnessy though. He looked alright for me when he was coming through, but
he was just okay. He's just not good enough. Like I'm not got any personal will against these people, but they're just not good enough.
Yeah, they're not good enough now, but they're alright. We'll thank them for what they did at Leeds, but it's good that we're getting them off our books now, freeing up the wages a bit. Leeds, now we've signed no players yet, despite it being the 15th of January at the time that we're recording this. Managing Director Angus Kinnear, in his programme notes at the weekend, wrote that the club were going to do their business early, which hasn't happened.
It's not like the club management team to have a bit of a PR disaster, is it?
Just feeding us lies here. We get our business done early. 15 days into January, almost halfway through the month. No signing yet.
Not even signed anybody. Not even a youth player.
Yeah. But we are close to signing a few players, though. An 18-year-old goalkeeper, Elia Capril, is close to completing a move to Leeds from Italian side Chievo. He's highly rated and has featured for Italy's under-18 side, and it would be a good signing for the youth teams, I think. We've seen many players sign for the youth teams over the years. We don't necessarily need another goalkeeper. We've already got 4 at the club.
He's seems to be a good signing for the under-23s, especially with Will Huffer kind of been phased out of the youth teams.
Yeah, and much of him.
Obviously, Majacek's kind of main goalkeeper when for the under-18s at the moment, because Meslier's kind of in the 23s a lot, kind of staying match fit just for waiting for Kiko Casillas' possible racism ban. But yeah, it'd be nice to get at least one signing over the line, even if it is a youth player.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably unnecessary. We've already got 4 goalkeepers at the club, but I'm sure that Elia Capri will be a good signing, and probably would be a signing for the youth teams at Leeds United. And could 19-year-old winger Ian Paveda also sign for Leeds soon? He's been heavily linked. He's currently at Manchester City. Never really got into the first team there, but he's highly rated and has played for England under-20s. He's attracted the attention of a number of clubs, including Italian side Torino, who he's apparently been in talks with, and apparently he's been over in Italy. But Leeds seem to be the front runners for his signature. Don't necessarily need another winger, really, as well. Probably a replacement for Jack Clark. What are your thoughts on this?
He seems to have a bit of an attitude issue, does this guy?
Yeah.
Vader, from what you can gather from what Man City fans say about him. He was kind of on the bench a bit for Man City, playing a couple of cup games, and then he went back down to the 23s, and his kind of his head dropped a bit. And if there's one thing you've got to be when you're playing for a Bielsa side, it's mentally strong, because you're going to get subbed off on the 20th minute.
Yeah.
You're gonna
because we've seen Pontus Jansson leave because of his attitude. Really,
you need to be able to follow orders, not in a kind of dodgy way. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Only following orders, but you need to be able to follow orders from Bielsa staff, and they have absolute authority. You cannot afford to let personal slights get in the way of your progression or the progression of the team. So whether or not he would suit the side, he seems to physically he looks like a bit of a, obviously not the same level. He plays kind of like Bernardo Silva does in that.
I mean, he's very skillful. And he's very highly rated as well.
Yeah, very skillful, highly rated, kind of roaming number 10, It kind of reminds me a bit of Saiz, roaming number 10, dodgy attitude.
I mean, if we sign him, he'll be a good option. I think it's more of a Jack Clark replacement than he'd be in the under-23s a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can afford one more loan signing on the bench.
But he'd be a good signing anyway, a good option to have, really, if we do need him, if all our wingers get injured. all of a sudden. As I say, it's probably unnecessary because we have plenty of wingers, but as I say, Jack Clark's now left, so probably a replacement for him. And it could be a good option if we sign him. So Ian Pervader, watch out for that one. And speaking of Jack Clark, of course, at the start of January, he was recalled back to Tottenham Hotspur, who Leeds sold him to for £10 million last summer. And he could play against Leeds on Saturday, as QPR are said to be signing him. So that'll be very interesting to see Jack Clark, our youth player from last season, play against us for QPR. That'll be interesting to keep an eye out on that one.
They won't play him, though. If they've had him for less than a week and he's only been to like 2 training sessions, they're not going to play him immediately, are they?
You never know. I mean, they are struggling.
I know, it'd be him whipping the ball into Naki Wells to put them 3-0 up at the weekend.
That's me having a sleepless night tonight, just thinking about that.
Definitely going to happen.
Yeah, but the big transfer story at Leeds, though, is, of course, regarding striker Che Adams. As discussed last week, the 23-year-old has struggled to gain a regular place in the first team at Southampton, making just 18 appearances in all competitions for them this season, mostly off the bench. And despite scoring 22 goals in 46 league games for Birmingham City in the Championship last season, so it's surprising that he hasn't got into the side there. Still young, though, 23 years old, as I said. And Phil Hay at The Athletic, he reports that he's Leeds United's top target this month, which is hardly a surprise. I think he'd be a fantastic signing. I think he'd agree as well. It's all a bit complicated, isn't it? So we understand that Leeds want a loan, and Southampton are up for loaning him for a fee believed to be about £1 million with an option to buy. Adams wants to come to Leeds, but Southampton's manager Ralph Hasenhüttl wants to keep him as they don't have another striker. So basically, if they sign another striker, we could have Che Adams. I think they'd allow him to go. But Leeds don't want to wait around. It's all too similar, isn't it, to the Dan James saga from last season? It's all too similar to that. It's going to drag on throughout this month, isn't it?
Hasenhüttl playing the Hugh Jenkins role, totally torpedoing a Leeds United transfer for no reason. Yeah, I mean, they've got Danny Ings burying 10 and 11 games in the Premier League.
But they don't have a backup.
He's on fire right now, but as long as he stays fit, and I know Danny Ings and fitness have not been they've not been a nice pairing over the years, but like Ings is absolutely on fire at the moment, so you'd think, come on, Ralph, stop taking the piss. Give us Che Adams.
But they need another striker, though. In an ideal world, we get Che Adams and they go to Brentford and get Ollie Watkins.
Better yet, they sign Mitrovic. He's injured for 3 weeks.
Yes, go get Ollie Watkins at Brentford.
I think, though, that might be a full and manufactured injury so that he doesn't sign for any other club.
Yeah.
I hate Ollie Watkins personally. I think he's a diving cheat and a smuggler.
But if Southampton sign him and they let us have Che Adams, then I'm happy there.
We're not going to get him though, because it seems like from the things that Phil and Graham are saying is that there's Phil A and Graham Smith on Twitter, that he's a big Hasenhüttl is a big stumbling block, and Southampton probably won't overrule him.
Yeah, because imagine how bad that would look.
Yeah,
if the owners sell him and the manager doesn't want him to go,
you'd be put in a bit of a sticky position as a manager, wouldn't you? And you'd lose the respect to your players and maybe your fans as well.
Yeah, and the manager will lose respect to the owners as well.
Yeah, that's true. So it'll cause probably more issues than it'll solve there.
Yeah,
and Southampton will think it's probably not worth it.
Yeah,
especially for the £1 million loan fee they want.
With the option to buy, it sounds a bit like the Dan James thing from last season.
That deal seems a bit favoured in the. Weighted in favour of Leeds. Yeah. It doesn't seem like Southampton are getting much out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Che Adams, though, would be a good signing. 23 years old, as I said. 22 goals for Birmingham City in the Championship last season. It would be a very good signing. Would you say that he would be the difference when it comes to promotion, Che Adams?
Yeah.
Is this simply we pay £1 million for a loan fee, we pay £1 million for promotion?
Yeah. How many January transfer windows in particular, have we utterly screwed up by not committing?
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, if we sign him,
there's an argument to be made for us to completely just ignore FFP and go for it, because we're never going to have a better chance than this.
But then again, if we sign Che Adams for £1 million, we say, all right, we will buy him for £10 million in the summer, permanent deal, and we don't go up. Then we're in the shit, basically. We're in a lot of trouble there.
Well, I mean, we're going to lose Calvin Phillips anyway, so...
We'll have to sell Calvin Phillips to fund the transfer, held a cost of £15 million, and then Che Adams £10 million.
Yeah, but I think we'll probably get 30 mil for Phillips. So that will probably cover that.
But is that worth it, though? Is it worth getting rid of Calvin Phillips for...
We're going to lose him regardless, mate, at the end of the season if we're not in the Premier League. So
yeah.
You have to think, no matter how much we spend in FFP now, if we either go up and it doesn't matter, or we don't go up and Calvin Phillips goes anyway. So and you'd like to think that the club would get enough money for Phillips to cover all the transfers.
I mean, there is that big risk there if you just go all at it and then you don't go up, because then we're in real shit there.
We've got an asset that people want, mate.
Yeah, and if we get Che Adams, we've our chance of promotion
go massively up.
Yeah, they go massively up. So
I think the pros outweigh the cons in this. And I think we should probably just say.
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree. If the pros outweigh the cons, we just need to go for it. Just say
to Southampton, right, we'll give you 10-0 right now. Give us Che Adams, we'll get promoted. And then if we don't get promoted, sell Calvin Phillips and we'll pay off the debt.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to certainly be interesting. But I agree with you. Pros outweigh the cons. We just need to go for it. We need to learn from last season and just go for it.
We've been in this league.
Just go for it.
16 years, mate. 16 years. Or not, well,
no, in this league for 10 years.
Well, obviously, yeah, we had the bit in league. I mean, out of the Premier League for 16 years is what I meant. Which we have. And there's never been a better chance than this. Yeah. Why would you hamstring yourself?
Exactly.
By not taking advantage of a transfer window.
Exactly. We need to take advantage of this. We're in a fantastic position. We just need to learn from last season and just go for it. And Che Adams would be a fantastic signing. But as I say, Leeds aren't going to wait around. Apparently they've identified other targets. Apparently they want to go after 28-year-old striker Andre Gray, who's currently at Premier League side Watford. He's not got great stats either. Just 2 goals in 18 Premier League games this season. But he probably would be a good signing still. Did well in the Championship when he played in this league.
Who did he play for? Was it Bolton he played for?
Burnley.
Yes. Did he?
Yeah. I think he would still be a good signing for this league anyway, but Che Adams is the main one.
Bolton, was he? Did he look at Andre Gray? Did he used to be at MkDhTg with Dele Alli?
He was definitely at Burnley. I know that much.
Sorry,
at Burnley and he was at Burnley and at Brentford.
He's only been at Burnley and Brentford.
And he's been at Luton, been at Hinkley Town, been at Telford, and been at Shrewsbury.
Oh, he's not been.
But the big teams he's been at is Brentford, Burnley, and Watford, which he's at now.
I must be thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd probably do a job in the Championship as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But the main one is Che Adams. It's all a bit complicated.
22 goals, 4 assists last time he was in the Championship.
Yeah, Che Adams. So he's the main one to go after. But that's just going to keep on rumbling on, like the Dan James saga did last season. It's just going to keep on rumbling on. So keep an eye out for it. Let's now look ahead to Leeds United's next game. Then Leeds taking on Queen's Park Rangers away at Loftus Road on Saturday with a kick-off time of 12:30 p.m. So good luck to all the Leeds fans getting up early on that day to travel down. A very early kick-off there for a game away in London. And Leeds, we don't have a good record playing in London at all. We've mentioned this many times on the podcast. We've lost all games down there so far this season. Our last win in the capital was on the 9th of December 2017, which was a 3-1 win at QPR. Believe it or not, Kemaru scoring a hat-trick there, so we might have a chance here. What do you think?
Do you know who got an assist in that game?
Paolo Savicki.
Yeah.
What
One
do
of
you
his
think?
only 2 good games for Leeds, that and Norwich at home.
Yeah. What do you think going into this game then?
I'm worried, mate, because we're in horrendous form and we really struggle in London. We got beat there last year in a game we should have won.
That 1-0.
Yeah, when Izzy Brown
we got beat twice there last season.
Izzy Brown came on and tried desperately to get sent off immediately by just 2-footing anyone who had the ball.
Yeah, we got beat twice last season.
Yeah, I think Applehouse scored in a 2-1 cup defeat.
Yeah, many changes that game anyway. But yeah, we don't really have particularly good records against QPR. We've lost 2 of the last 3 meetings there. But the last time we did play him was at Elland Road, 2nd of November, won 2-0 there. But yeah, we don't have a good record down in London. But as I say, the last time we won in London, December 2017, was a 3-1 win at QPR. So who knows what could happen here. QPR, though, do not have a great season, of course, managed by Mark Warburton. They're not having a good season at all. They've played 27 league games, won 10, drawn 5 and lost 12. They're currently 15th on 35 points, a mid-table finish for them probably this season. And their current form isn't great either. They've lost 4, drawn 1 and only won 1 of their last 6 league games.
Until Leeds United came along.
The last game, of course, they lost 3-1 away at Brentford, so they didn't do us any favours there. But in the last 2 home games, though, they've scored 11 goals. They beat Cardiff City 6-1 in the league on New Year's Day and then beat Swansea City 5-1 in the FA Cup 3rd round. So What are we expecting?
Hopefully not. Well, I'm expecting not to get battered 6-1 like Cardiff did. I'm expecting a really dodgy, tight game, 0-0 for most of it. The ref will probably give them a penalty for Ben White sneezing or something, and we'll lose it 1-0.
I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's have a look at whoscored.com, of course. They say that QPR strengths, they are very strong at creating chances through individual skill. They're strong at creating long shot opportunities, they're strong at creating chances using through balls, strong at finishing scoring chances, and strong at stealing the ball from the opposition. They are weak at defending set pieces, weak at avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, weak at protecting the lead, weak at defending against attacks down the wings, and very weak at avoiding individual errors. So a few own goals maybe?
Yeah, it'd be funny if own goals exceeded Bamford for our top scorer. It'd be hilarious.
QPR style of play, so short passes, possession football, playing in their own half, play the offside trap, they're aggressive.
All the things we do then.
Opponents play aggressively against them. So it's going to be a tough game, I think. It's certainly going to be interesting. QPR do have some good players. Eberici Eze, the 21-year-old.
He was very impressive at Elland Road.
Very impressive. Ran the game for them, really, at Elland Road early on in the season. Eze, 10 goals and 6 assists for him in 27 league games. Naki Wells as well, QPR have, 29-year-old. He's scored 12 goals and got 3 assists in 25 league games, 13 goals in all, in 27 games in all competitions. Jordan Ugle as well, they have down there. He scored 8 goals in 26 league games. So they do have some very good players to Queen's Park Rangers. So it's going to be very tough. It's going to be very interesting. As we discussed earlier, Leeds United are in poor form at the moment. Currently 3 draws, 2 losses and 1 win from the past 6 league games. We need to turn that form around. Do you think we will turn the form around? What's your score prediction heading into this game?
I don't like predicting Leeds to lose, but we're in such poor form at the moment. I'm going to go for another draw, 1-1.
1-1.
1-1 draw,
yeah. I reckon we'll win.
London, mate, though.
I know.
Down there.
I'm hopeful. 2-1. 2-1 to Leeds I'm going to go for. And we'll see if any of us are right.
Are you going to start keeping a tally of who's right, mate? Because I feel like we should. Because I feel like I've predicted a lot of correct results in the past.
Yeah.
Remember that a few months ago when I predicted like 4 on the bounce correctly?
Well, I don't, mate.
Fair enough. Right, well...
We'll see who's right. We'll see who's right.
Sure
We're probably going to lose. Because we don't have a good record down in London. But
1-0 to the referee.
But hopefully Leeds United
I
prove
just
us
like to
wrong.
say one word. I promise I'll say this word. Snide.
Snide.
I mean, you won't understand the reference there, but one person watching will understand that reference. I promise I'll get that in.
Okay. Explain that to us later down the line.
Okay.
But hopefully Leeds United do win on Saturday. But that does bring us to the end of episode 50 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much as always to Charles for joining me as always. The big 50. Thank you.
I mean, we're not turning 50, although it feels like it when we're supporting Leeds.
It does. We've been in this studio over 2 days.
Oh.
A long time.
What a blast it's been.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much as always, Charles, for joining me. And everyone, thank you everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. And thank you for your support throughout all these 50 episodes. We really hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, share the podcast around as well. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds on Facebook. Keep up to date with everything that is happening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Search All Things Leeds on YouTube. Me and Charles will be back next week. So for now, take care and we'll speak soon.